All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, Tech Foundation 1 students. This is Russell Wright, Network Empire. I feel like I've been on non-stop webinars for a week straight. We had a 4-hour SEO hospital webinar yesterday, or 3 hours. I'm exaggerating as usual, but it was really a long one. I think some of you in here were even on that. Matt could not make that one yesterday because it's like in the middle of the night his time. Today we are going to, actually, how is everyone? It's really good to see you. Looks like we have, let me just count. Let's take a head count here. Is everybody more caffeinated than me? Because, geez, I am sipping on Squirrel organic cold brew coffee. And I grabbed it out of the refrigerator so I wasn't overly late to this call and realized it's a concentrate. So I cannot actually drink it, I can only sip on it. It's a new company.
You're gonna be bouncing like a squirrel after this call.
It's a new company. It's good coffee. You might want to try it. I actually spoke to the executive officer of this company. It's not bad. Okay, so let me just look and see if, do I have all of you on chat? Give me a 1 if, where's the chat window? Give me a 1 if you guys are awake and ready to roll. And if you've, yeah, let's just do one question at a time. Can I get a 1 from everyone? If you are wide awake. Let's see. Matt, are you seeing any responses?
Yes, I am. Everyone's ready to rock, eh?
Can you remind me in my decaffeinated state, where do I see the ones? Is that on the polls or the questions?
It's on questions. I'll be on questions.
Oh, there it is. I should ask myself, am I awake this morning? Yes, I am. Here we go. Okay. Everybody's here. We got a head count. Brian, Garrett, Mitch is here, Roy. I don't even know what you said, Roy, but it scares me. Garrett's here. Brian. Okay, we're missing some people. Let me just go over here to this. Has everyone, has everybody gotten through, give me a 1 if you've gotten through the task list and the homework assignments that Matt gives and I give. Give me a 1 if you're up to speed, and 2 if you're still a little bit behind. This is the questions behind the questions, the pain behind the, so on and so forth. And we won't embarrass anyone, I promise. I won't call you out by name because I know how hard you all work. It really is a busy life being an entrepreneur. Okay. Okay, yes, I am aware that there was some delay. Where are we at with all the drilling? Part of what happened is Kraken and the last Keyword tool had a 4-day outage. And part of it has to do with the way that we pull our data. And we have really high, level, probably Google quality programmers like Kelly and Scott working with us. But we were out of commission. I know that you guys don't want to hear that. It's got nothing to do with you. Just want to let you know honestly, transparently what happened. And that kind of put Matt in a pickle because he needed the data to work with you guys. So I want to apologize. Oh, Garrett would actually like me to publicly humiliate him. I love it when people actually want me to do that.
Like that?
Garrett said, please.
I need a kick in the butt.
Okay. Now, one of the things I will say is that this is not a coaching club or a network marketing opportunity. We don't drag people across the finish line. However, I don't mind publicly humiliating people who request it. So that is okay. Garrett, get off your ass and get moving. Like, what are you doing, man? It's kidding. No, I mean, I realize that you guys you got to understand how much I respect you guys. You're involved in learning a system that this is cutting edge stuff. If you guys had any idea how much time Matt and I have sat in front of a computer over the last, I'd say 50 months, your mind would be blown. So don't ever ask us to come and do like an internet marketing get rich quick kind of one button, push button wonder, kind of marketing, because that's not really, it's not the reality. We've got literally thousands of hours invested in building the application. But what makes it more interesting is building it so that we could reteach it. And you guys are the cutting edge. So I want to thank you for taking time out of your entrepreneurial Garrett, I'm not going to talk about that out loud. I have children too, so there's there's no sob story there either. 3 of them. Garrett was telling us about his life with his kids, and yeah, so between your entrepreneurial endeavors and your children and your family, I know, and your financial constraints, if you've got any still, I just want you to know that we both respect and understand, Matt and I both respect and understand what you're going through to take time out with this. Now that being said, go ahead and get her done. What does the cable guy say? get her done.
Get it done.
Get her done. Oh, that's funny.
A terrible American accent.
Matt trying to do the cable guy with the Scottish. What is your accent, Matt? It's like part Scottish, part South African. Get her done.
Scottish in me.
Okay, so I know that you're all extremely busy. Our job is to make sure that you get the buy button up and you start making that sale. Now, that being said about no easy push button systems, and I got to tell you, when your network is done, it is the closest thing to the pipe dream, so to speak, the internet marketing pipe dream of get rich quick that you could actually have. I remember when I had my first money site set up and had my first 7 PinVid sites automating the traffic behind it. And when the sales started coming in from traffic that I had automated, I really felt like I was, what's the word, kind of, there was a dreamy state there. Yeah. Yeah, there was like, you get that, kind of that rush you get. I don't know if you guys have ever like won the lottery or something. I don't know. I'm trying to get some kind of feeling that you could relate to. That, because when it starts happening, when you actually achieve it, and it's not kind of like just hype or sensation, sensationalism, whatever, when the traffic starts coming, when you go to your Google Analytics account and you see that there's been 3,000 visitors on a site that's only been up for 2 weeks, and they're staying on your site an average of 5 minutes, and then they're buying stuff, more importantly, things start to shift for you. And this is what, we don't pitch the one-click wonder, the make money overnight kind of stuff like that, but I want you to know the stackable system that we're teaching, the pre-certification courses, the perpetual mastermind coaching courses, all of these came to be, are designed to help you get to that point. And then on top of that, a lot of the stuff that I've learned how to construct these courses, how Matt's learned, we've been hanging out with the guys like, the product launch formula guys and the website guys. We've been back, we've been in the internet marketing thing since, I personally have been there since 2007. How about, let's just I want to get to know you guys a little bit better. Can you tell me, just type in a date or a year of how long you've been earning or trying to earn money online. I think a lot of you are already making money, so give me a date, 2005, 2010, if it's 2012. Mitch, you've been on a long, long time. Okay. All right.
Back in 1998, where cloaking was easy.
Exactly. Oh, I remember that. What was that cloak? What was that cloak spider, Matt? Remember a cloaking spider?
SEC cloaker.
Yeah, I was raking in the. Oh my God. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let me just go ahead and Mitch. So far, you've been online since as long as 2001. Okay, Roy, this is a short order. This is one of the questions I'm going to put in the survey. We now have a Circle of Trust intake form required for all students coming into this course, Perpetual Mastermind course, in the future. And one of the questions I think is very helpful to me is just to see how long you've been online. Mitch was working on eBay in 2001. Roy, can I read your date? Okay, 2011. Okay. So Garrett, you're actually fairly new online the last couple of years. That's great. It's great that you found us that early. Brian, 2010. Yeah. Okay. So that gives everybody. Okay, Roy is a program. What do you program? What language you program in, Roy? He's got some programming background. Okay. Garrett came into this course through OMG. Speaking of OMG, I just got a call from Michael Long this morning. He's wanting me to call him back about something. Thanks for reminding me. Fortran. Okay, Roy. Okay, so I'm just trying to get a little bit of background, you guys. Appreciate that. Today, Matt, what are we going to be focusing on today in the Tech Foundation?
Yeah, today we're basically going to start talking about the building blocks. How we're going to start compiling a site, how we're going to actually start constructing it, and what do we think about when we look at keywords and then translate keywords into a navigational system so that it helps the users find what they want as fast as possible, but then also targets the most important, most profitable keywords in that data set that we've been looking at in DWS and in Kraken. Okay, so that's what we're going to chat about today. Guys, most of you guys have got your keywords. If you haven't done your keywords yet, please push them through to me so that I can get them drawn out for you. The next coaching call that I want to do with you guys, the next hour I want to spend with you, is particularly surrounding the keyword data set that I've drawn out for you in Kraken. So I can actually talk you guys through it, and I can explain to you how to look at the data set to find missed opportunities, new opportunities, and then how to make sense of the numbers but also the meaning of the words, so that you don't actually create a website that's like 10,000 nodes big, but you focus purely on the most important nodes. And why we focus on those purely important nodes, because here's the weird thing is when we do silo architecture, guys, and when we look at the keywords that come back from Kraken, when we identify the pillars that hold up that traffic stream, okay, because remember, everything is a traffic stream. It's flowing. It's data's flowing. It's not something that's static. It's something that's dynamic, and this traffic moves. But the interesting thing about all this always, there's specific words that people use to start finding what they want in each and every niche that we actually enter into. There's always a pattern that people follow. It's just a funny thing. In all the years I've been looking at data and analyzing it and seeing how stuff moves around, there's always a pattern, and when I identify this pattern, I build my silo structure around that pattern, and the pattern is the words that people use to express what they're looking for. It's how can I say this in a simple way? It's getting into the mind of the market personality and how they express themselves and how they use their words and what's the meaning behind the words. Those are the words I focus on when I build up my silo structure. So this week, what we're doing is, if you look at my screen, you can see we're importing the silo themes into WordPress. So in order to get the site to WordPress, we have to build out the navigational structure of the actual site, and that's what we use DWS for, to quickly do that. We import into the keyword decision screen, which I have over here. Let me just open it up. I'll move a few things around here. Okay, so when I go to, I'm in the live version of DWS on the screen. And when we look at the keyword decision screen, what we've done here, like we spoke about last week, was the keyword decision screen takes all these words we get from Kraken, it imports it in, it merges it up with our business decision rules, okay, filters, ranks, sorts, and then brings the most profitable, the keywords with the most potential to the top, okay. Now, some keywords are not as real as other keywords are. Some have more weight to our business than others. Like, for example, if we look at make space up, okay, that keyword has a lot of value, but it's not really how people express themselves. When you go online and you look at which keywords are more important, you'll notice that make up, where it's one word, is more valuable. Okay. Now, a common mistake guys make when they build their sites is they try and grab every single keyword that they think has value, and they throw it into the website, and they end up with these navigational bars. They're growing for, there's like 300 keywords in the navigation bar. You don't want to do that, guys. You want to focus on the words that people use in common day language. Can you give me a one if that makes sense to you? I'm really dumbing this down today because I want you guys to really get this, because when we build our silo structure, that is the foundations of the entire website. This is the skeleton. It's at the core, okay? And if we can map out the words that are at the core of how people speak and how they communicate and how they search, and if those keywords have search volume, conversions, and value associated with them, those are the keywords we want to own, because it's at the epicenter of everything. Okay, so when we can identify these words, you can see for SASE, I'm just going to use an example. We can just look at the silo structure. Can you guys give me one if you can all see my screen clearly? And after that, if it's too small, can someone just say, please enlarge or whatever, so I can zoom in so you can see it. Can you guys all see my screen? Is it clear enough for you?
It's pretty big, Matt. Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so when we look at SASE as a business, what does SASE do? Okay, SASE has got a core service model. Okay, they cut hair, they do makeup. Okay, and what industries they work in? They work in hairstyles, they work in makeup artistry, and where's their focus? They focus on weddings, hair, and advertising. Okay, so they do work for modeling, fashion shoots, all that kind of stuff. So there's actually three parts of the industry where they focus in. So when we define our business and we really understand what the business does, then we can look at what are the most profitable keywords within that sector that carries most of the traffic. Okay, because it's the traffic that actually creates the conversions, and when you get the conversions lead the people into your business. They take them through the door. Okay, so when we look at this, under wedding, we covered bridal hair, professional makeup, wedding hair and makeup, and wedding hairstyles. Those 5 words are probably, out of all the words I looked at, those are the ones that are most congruent to what the business does, but it's also the words that carry the most traffic in the locale that I'm actually searching in. So Kraken gives us the information back. It shows us these are the words the people use in that area. Okay. Can you give me a 1 if that's clear to you, what I've just explained there? Okay, cool. So what I do is when I build up my sites, I don't go and build 25,000 silos, which are 1,000 categories deep, and then have 15,000 supporting articles. I know that's a bit extreme, but I'm just trying to elaborate on a common mistake people do. They end up building these huge, gigantic websites, which they'll never finish. Okay? Your objective is to get over the finish line as fast as possible, and what I mean by that is you want to get your site live. Okay, so how do we do that? We do it by one silo at a time, and we start swallowing our market whole one silo at a time. Okay, so what you can see with the SaaS site here, we've looked at wedding. What are we doing? We're doing bridal hair and we're doing professional makeup. Those are the first 2 keywords that are essentially most important to that business at that sector. That's what we focused on. Why did we focus on it? Because we get one bride in, we get 2 to 3 bridesmaids, maybe 5 or 7 bridesmaids. We also get the mother of bride. We bring them all in of one lead, we convert them, we do all their hair, we make a profit. That's the job done. We've got the bottom line goal done. There's money in the bank. Okay, that's what we want to achieve. That's our primary goal. So what do we do? Wedding silo, 5 keywords, wrote the content, built the site, got it live, pushed it out there, spoke about it a bit on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Then we went to wedding hair, and then we went to makeup, and we started expanding. Okay, from this process we've gone through, we've mapped out maybe 15 pages of content. Here's the real world result of what's happened over the, what's it been, about 8 months we've been doing these courses, Russ? No, it's not even that, it's probably 6 months, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, within 6 months, what's happened to SASE is on the wedding side of the business, they're booked full till February next year. We're now in July, and we're booked full till February next year with the business, just on wedding. We've not even focused on getting the hair or the makeup side of the business optimized. But funny enough, with the makeup side, we're getting professional contracts with companies like Volkswagen, VW. I don't know how you guys say it in America. Would it be Volkswagen or something like that? But the point being is, what we did is we came in, where's the most money? We focused on where most of the money flows. We got that silo live, which is 6 pages of content. We put our pictures out. We put our first initial ideas. We published it. We've got those pages ranked. Now, the big terms like wedding, we're not ranked for those terms. But basically, bridal hair, for most of these keywords, we're either on page 1 or page 2. And that's with very little effort, okay? I'm busy doing a case study for you guys now where we've been tracking all the movements that we've made. And I'll be releasing it to the tech group now so you guys can actually see what's happened to SASE. But with very little effort, guys, what's happened is with these words, we've created business. And this is what I want to show you guys today. Don't focus on every keyword in the universe. Focus on the keywords that are relevant to the service that the market personality wants. Can you guys give me a 1 if you're really clear on that? Okay, and this is how simple it actually becomes. So if your business, like I know Roy does a specific business, I've spoken to quite a lot of you guys, when you're doing a trade where you deliver specific service, focus on your primary service first, get the message out, watch the traffic come in, look at your analytics, look at webmaster tools. That'll show you other traffic streams that are coming in that are closely associated to this. Because here's the funny thing is when you actually do this and you get your site up live fast and you get the feedback from webmaster tools, what I did is when I did the wedding silo, I knew it would be pretty easy to get ranked for those keywords in our locale. And that's where most of the money was. I got them ranked or close to page 1. We did a lot of stuff on Facebook. My wife and that they promote through Facebook predominantly. Okay, so I've been working on ways to reverse engineer that so that we can use the one feed system. But what is exposed to me, I've seen on the hair side of things, it's as if Google's doing litmus tests with us. They're saying, okay, yes, this website is ranking for wedding hair. Let's see how people respond to hair. But on the hair side, I've not done much optimization. But I can see how traffic's been drip fed to us over a period of time with Google, with webmaster tools. I can see the impressions hitting our site. When I go in here and I clean this up, 3 things have happened. 1, I know the words that Google's testing us on. 2, I can see the traffic streams and how big those traffic streams are. And number 3, all I got to do now is when I come to optimize this hair silo, I know the keywords that have the traffic flowing through them. So it's not like I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are the words that have the traffic? Google's now shown it to me. Now all I'm going to do is go in there, apply what Jimmy's been teaching us, and I optimize this silo specifically for those traffic streams. And that makes all these keywords pop, and it brings more business into the actual salon. Okay, so in today's session, when we're looking at how we choose the words to build our silo structures, the key thing is think specifically about what you are selling. Think specifically on what are the words that the market personalities use, and then map out your silo and get it live as fast as possible. Yeah, you can see I've just got 15 pages of content, but the thing is, it's given me business till next year February in the hair salon. This is how it works. When we built our property business, in a local leads course where I built up a whole property portfolio using the internet, I applied the same principles. We figured out where the people would be that we were targeting. We put the site live. We brought the business in. We spoke to the people. We converted them. We closed the transaction. From that, we expanded. So this is where the perpetual cycle always goes with what we teach you guys. Put your toe in the water. If it's warm enough, then stick in your foot. If it's warm enough, then drop down to your ankle. And if it's really acceptable, jump in completely. When you build your site out in this way, what happens is by doing these short little tests, you very quickly drop right into traffic streams, and that's how you create the conversions, which then bring money into your business. Do you guys get this simple? I've sort of tried to explain this in as a simple way as possible. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? Can you give me a 1 just so I can get some feedback from you guys? So you see, it's not rocket science, guys. We're not doing super complicated stuff. All we're doing is we're building our business one block at a time. Now, when you start building your business, you start your foundation, then you do your first meter of bricks, then you build it up to the top floor, then you throw your slab. Everything is built in one block at a time, and that's essentially what we're doing here. So when we get into DWS, all I'm doing is I'm using the keyword decision screen. I'm looking where the most potential is. I'm looking at the word. Does wedding dresses have anything to do with us? No, it doesn't. But on the WR2, it has a lot of value to us. So if I get ranked on wedding dresses for a WR2, I can put banners for Sassy all over that whole website, drive the brides from Sassy straight into the primary site, but then also I can pass on the wedding leads to another business who can also give us referrals. Does that part make sense to you guys? Can you sort of get what I'm saying here, how we're looking at these keywords in the grid? Okay, so what you want to do at this stage, now that you've got your keywords back from Kraken, is go into Kraken, you've got your 7-day pass, look at all the keywords I've drawn out for you. Okay, the things that are irrelevant, just delete them. If it's not relevant to your business, get rid of it, throw it out. Clean up all the stuff there, then look at the keywords, look at the search volume, and sort of see where the money flows through the market. Then what you want to do is go look at the competitors. How strong are the competitors? Go to Moz, drop the keyword in, and see how strong they are, and that'll give you a feel for what you're up against. Okay, then bring the keywords into DWS and just map out the basic framework of what defines your business. Okay, so for Sassy, we deal with weddings, we deal with hair, and we deal with makeup. Those are the 3 things we deal with. Am I trying to get ranked for wedding, hair, and makeup right now? No, I'm not. I'm just using them as placeholders to create the structure of my site. Within a year, will I be ranked for them? Yes, I will own these keywords. Okay. What am I focused on now? I'm focused on my category keywords. I want to get these keywords ranked. This is what I'm after at this point in time. Those are the words that define my business. So all I've done is I've mapped out exactly what my business does. Okay. Now with the semantic web, this is where things get really, really interesting. When you submit your site to the semantic web, when you own a business, okay, it doesn't really work for affiliate products, but when you're a real world business with a physical address and you provide services to the community, to the public. Kevin and I have been doing some tests on Sassy for probably since I was in the US. That's what, nearly a month and a bit we've done some tests. There's been some staggering results purely because we've got a real world business. When we map out stuff that we work in, the semantic web actually sees us. But when we try and put stuff in that's not really relevant, the semantic web actually adjusts the results, and this is quite funny how it worked. But what we got here from the simple structure is we are ranking for like over 68 keywords, and we're not even focused on them, just purely from that. Mitch, the semantic web doesn't see you. Only when you submit yourself will it pick you up, but then people will come and review it. It's all human driven. It's not machine driven like Google is. Okay. What does this mean, the semantic web? The semantic web, Kevin's done a great course on it. I would recommend you guys take this and understand it. If you're doing real world business, it's one of the courses I strongly recommend you actually take and look and really understand it, because in the next year or so, there's going to be a huge impact made on the web based on how the semantics all work. In this course, we're not going to go into too much. I'm just dropping you guys a really, really, really good tip that if you've got a real world business, start understanding what the semantic web means. I'm going to show you case study proof of what it does. I'm going to show you proof of how it almost tames, you know when you guys look at the web, right, and you see your rankings, they start jumping up and down and they're moving, and Google doesn't know how to place you. When you add the semantic web, the submissions and stuff that we do for the semantic web, what happens is those high ups and downs actually start panning out, and they become much softer because now Google trusts what you're doing, and more traffic starts flowing through your site. This is what we've seen is happening. It's really fantastic what's going on. So for today's session, all I wanted to highlight to you guys is don't overthink the whole story and try and add millions of keywords. Target the keywords that are specific to your business and have specific meaning to your business and have traffic, okay? Because if you don't have traffic, you can't get conversions. It means nothing to get ranked for keywords that have no traffic, okay? So this is all I wanted to say today with today's session when you start mapping out your site in DWS. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible for you guys. Only focus on what is important to your business and what defines your business and what has traffic. Do you guys have any questions with regards to what I've said now? And does what I've shown you guys today, how I've mapped out Sassy, does it actually make sense to you? Russ, I think we should add, would you like to add something here, Russ? Or
I would like to add nothing. It's so perfect.
Okay. Okay, I don't want to talk too much and overcomplicate it, guys. I'm trying to keep this really as simple as possible so that you guys can see we're not building these intense, crazy things. We're just being very particular and we're being very precise.
But let's
we're thinking clearly.
But Matt, let's address Mitch's question.
Sure.
Because I think it's important. He asks, okay, what do you mean when you say how the semantic web sees us? Just a quick overview. Mitch, we have another perpetual mastermind course called semanticwebtraining.com, and that's really headed up by Kevin. Are you familiar with that? We do get into it a little bit in this course, but it kind of puts a layer of overwhelm if we were to try to teach all of that in this course.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, no,
so
it's a whole different ball of wax.
But it's not that it's not that complex. Just know that the web is moving towards the semantic web. The extent to which the politics will, I'm glad Kevin's not here because he would slap me around. He's on his way to the United States actually to hang out with us for a couple of weeks. But where the semantic web will actually go and how much buy-in will occur with Google, how quickly. It's not a question as if the semantic web is becoming integral. It's a question of how quickly and then to what extent Google will integrate that in its algorithms. It's already integrating it in ways that are scaring the crap out of us, quite frankly, in a good way, because we're all prepared for it. Part of the reason we're rewriting the vSilo plugin, the Silo plugin, and the rest is because, and the video Kraken into Pro, is not only to make them better, but to incorporate semantic web script and semantic web code directly into the themes, directly into the plugins, and it does affect your rankings. Kevin talks a lot about at the live certification event, which I know all of you will eventually make one of them, and how we started doing some work and research with Jimmy Kelley and found out that the degree of effect that semantic web has is sometimes anywhere between 3 and 5 positions when you properly
it's massive.
When you properly mark up your page. So is that enough, Matt? I just wanted to give Mitch a quick overview. Go ahead.
Russ, what I want to do is I actually want to bring Kevin in later in to the course, like week 6 or 7, just to really touch on this. I've been working on a case study for the last 6 months, tracking specifically what actions create what results, so that you guys have got real-world facts. It's not just hype that we're giving you at Network Empire. It's actually real-world results that affect real-world businesses. And the stuff that Kevin and I have been working on when we did this has been very simple to implement. It's not been complex, but it's had a stunning thing. But the thing is that you have to think about your business. It's not just building websites. We're moving from websites to real-world business. This is what I want to say to you guys. So in like Roy's example, he's got a real-world business. Many of you guys have real-world businesses. The silo structure is imperative to the semantic web because it helps us define clearly what it is that we are selling in the semantic web, if that makes sense. I think that's the simplest way I can actually explain what I'm saying here. And the results have been very, very important. It's like it's made the job a lot easier, if I can put it that way. But I don't want to go too much into the semantics right now. I just wanted to drop that in today because now it's becoming relevant, because we're starting to create the architecture of what our business is about. Okay, and semantics is going to play a role in this if you've got a real world business. So this is the only reason why I'm introducing this idea at this point. It's not to create any diversions. It's something you guys must start thinking about. Okay, that's basically all I want to say at this point now, Russ, with regards to that.
That sounds good. And we'll get, again, there's a lot of free information that we offer on this topic, so do feel free to join us for the semantic web training. We separated out that perpetual mastermind group because it is complex. I would say it is of interest to all. That course is somewhat advanced. It's especially interested in those who have a lot of clients. Any clients that you have that personal branding and markup and author, it has a lot to do with anyone who is an author who maybe has a book. That is an absolutely essential course. If you're starting to mark up your products on a large scale, it's absolutely essential. In other words, if you have a large shopping cart, or even a small shopping cart is worth thinking about. You can probably figure that on your own. But if you have a really large shopping cart, that material is absolutely essential because it really is a lot of work to mark up a large volume of things. So this is really where we're coming from with all that.
Yeah. So what's great about this, guys, is we're going to show you guys how to think about your business. Now, if you're doing affiliate sites, you don't have to worry about the semantics too much because that product belongs to another company. Now, if you want to make money out of it, you could actually approach your company and say, look, have you done semantics? But that's just another way of creating revenue because they won't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but if you don't own the product, you can't put it into the semantic web because you're not the source.
Yeah, that's generally true. Now, there's some weird ways around that. There's other things that you can mark up on behalf of it, but yeah. Again, all of this we discuss more at the live certification event and inside the semantic web training. If you have any questions, the good news is we're trying to automate as much of that for you guys as possible, and thus the rewrite. In fact, on my other screen here, Kevin and I are looking at the rewrite of the Silo plugin, and the rest, all of it has semantic stuff already integrated, and we're testing that right now. So we don't want you to have to think too much about it, but it is something definitely worth having on your radar.
Yeah, what I want to do in Tech 1 is I want to start clarifying the context of what these things are so that when you actually come to those courses, the context is correct in your mind when you actually approach it. I think that's what's key at Tech 1 is that we clarify the context of what you're doing. Okay, so with that said, for this week, I want to start seeing you guys mapping out your sites, and I want to have another chat with you guys. So if you don't have the links to the time tracker, please get it so we can actually start looking at your keyword results, and we can actually have a chat about how you go about mapping out your stuff. DWs is pretty basic. It's very simple. We've done tons of videos on them. I don't want to go through this core. I'd rather give you guys more value in understanding where we're at. So for this week, week 5, what we want to do is we want to start mapping our silos out. Okay, once we got them mapped out, we're going to start creating the content for them, and we're going to start creating, and this week we're going to get our one silo. We're going to work on silo 1 for this week. We want to get it built, prepped and ready so that we can actually move it onto our site live. So by the end of next Thursday, we're going to ask you guys the question, okay, is silo 1 live? That's essentially what the homework is for this week. We want to get one silo up live. Okay. So can you guys give me a 1 if you all understand what I've explained to you guys today? Okay, brilliant. Like, guys, what I want to impart into you guys is when you're building your sites, when you're designing the architecture of your actual online business, okay, you do it one block at a time. Every block fits into the next block. And then if you skip blocks, the blocks that you actually put on top of that layer that you skipped becomes weak. So as we go through these motions and we actually do think about our business, then we create the ISDN, then we actually go and do our market research on the keywords where we know the pain is. Then from there, we start creating our business site architecture, the site structure, the silo architecture. Then what happens next is we come back next week, we're going to speak about the persuasion layer. This is where we start translating words like bridal hair and professional makeup. We start applying the persuasion layer into those things on top of the architecture, and this is where our content and the way we change our anchor text on our sites becomes very important, and this is where the conversions all start happening, and this is where we start bringing life into stuff, so we really start touching those pains. So for this week, all I want you guys to think about, don't think about persuasion, don't think about domain authority stacking, don't think about semantics. Just let what I said to you and what Russell said to you roll around in your head and become aware of it. But this week, all you have to think about is, okay, I have to create one silo, which is 5 pages of content. It's 1 article per day, and I have to get it live. That's all you got to do. Then in next week's call, we're going to actually come back and we're going to start speaking about persuasion. How do we take that copy and make it better? How do we make it more real? How do we make it talk to the pain? How do we make our anchor text, our navigation, more realistic? I'm not going to get into that too much right now, but I just wanted to show you guys that at this stage where we're at now, this is all we're doing. We're just mapping out the framework. We're creating the structure. Like they build skyscrapers, what's the first thing they build? They build the metal framework. It goes all the way up. When they come back and they start adding all the glass and all the other stuff, that's a persuasion layer. That's cladding that framework. Okay, so that's where. Do you guys have any questions with regards to what I've spoken about today or anything that's happened in the last previous 5 weeks? Feel free to fire your questions through now, and for like the next 15 minutes, we'll just chat through your questions and answer them if possible. Rusty, would you like to add anything else?
No,
Are
I
you
think
happy with that?
let's just go ahead and make sure that everybody's clear. So does everybody understand your homework assignment? Okay. Is there, actually, give us a 2 if you do not understand the homework assignment. So I'm going to call you guys out on it again next week. Everybody feel like they can, so anybody feels like that they don't have the information that they need to complete that? I do have one person who has provided the keywords and then they haven't got a response, so I've got that taken care of, the keyword drill. So the instructions they were given, Matt, was to provide the keywords on Skype directly, or was it for the help desk they were supposed to provide it?
It's got to go through help desk.
Okay.
Kevin will create the Kraken accounts.
Yeah.
Once they're done, Kevin will ping me, and I will draw those keywords out. I spent the weekend. I got most of you guys' stuff done, but I know that there's a few guys here who I haven't seen your stuff come through yet. So please do. If you don't know what keywords to do, please just Skype me so I can have a chat with you about it. So we can come to some way I can help you get started. This is essentially why I'm here.
Yeah, and if for some reason you feel like you've fallen through the cracks, I just spoke to somebody, go ahead and just contact me personally on Skype. If for some reason you haven't gotten your access to your Kraken, go ahead and contact us, and we'll go ahead and take care of that, because you should definitely have access to all of that by now. So it is urgent at that point, and don't hesitate to bug me personally. Okay.
I'm going to put my Skype address in the chat window for you guys so that you've got it. It's JBAY-MDC. That's my Skype address. Feel free to contact me anytime on Skype. I will get back to you. Talk to me so I can help you, because in the 30 minutes or the 50 minutes we may spend chatting, I can clarify a lot of stuff that might take you hours to try and figure out by yourself. So this is
yes, absolutely.
That's a shortcut. The headbanging experience.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you like that. I know I do sometimes. Let's see. Let me just go ahead and answer a couple of these questions. I have put rich snippets in my theme now. Is this also relevant? Rich snippets is semantic markup, Roy. So yes, it's incredibly relevant. Just know that it's the same thing. Rich snippet is a code language that was voted up by the semantic web community and WC. So this is that. Okay, so that is relevant. Another person said, that's why I'm here. I want to be ahead of the game, not chasing it. Good. Yeah, you are definitely ahead of the game with us. And, of course, I'm just saying that because you made a good choice. Another thing is, will Kraken emails get sent out? I don't know what you mean by that. Will Kraken emails get sent out?
Mitch, if you're talking about your keywords, the process essentially is you go to the help desk, submit your keywords.
But hang on a second, Matt. I think people have already been submitting. We need to clean this up. Guys, if you've submitted a support desk ticket, try to grab the support ticket URL, because you can hand that off to me. Yeah, you already sent it. If that means something happened, and it only happened with 1 or 2 of you, please nudge me in Skype, and I have to find your ticket. It's easier when you come to me on Skype if I have your URL string of that ticket. When you submit your ticket, there's a ticket number. If you can drop that with me, if you think something weird has happened, you should really have already been responded to your Kraken thing. And if you haven't, there's something wrong.
If your keywords haven't been drilled, guys, what happens, the process is Kevin has to create your account.
Perfect.
If you don't have an account already, and then I will drill it, and then on your ticket, I will submit back your Kraken login details plus the keyword data that I've researched out, plus an overview report, which I'm going to sort of talk about next week with you guys when we've all got it. I'm going to just give you a few tips how to look at the report when you're looking at your market.
Correct, Brian.
That's typically the process.
If you've already submitted, this is only for first-timers. We are a perpetual mastermind group. If you're re-auditing this course, you only get one Empire build. So Brian, if for some reason you want to do it again, there's a fee tied to it. It's not huge. It's discounted, but you would have to talk to me personally about that. It's a little bit difficult for us this late in the hour to try to get that. I would suggest jumping in on the next one, letting me know before the course launches that you'd like a redrill, and we'll talk about that personally. Mitch, I do have your ticket, and I think I asked for one of your other tickets. I think it's Dan. If you can provide that for me personally, I'll be addressing this and following up personally with my help team. Let me look, let's see. Roy, you said you've asked for short-term access to TLKT. Put a support ticket in to nudge you, Skype. I have a great response support from Matt. Okay. I'm not sure.
I spoke to Kevin about that, Roy. Kevin's just been beginning prep for the US, so he's been a bit swamped. He's going to get that sorted out literally in the next day or two. That will be done. We have followed up on that.
Things are a little bit weird, so contact me personally, and I'll be juggling some of these. It sounds like one or two of these things has fallen through the cracks, which requires my personal follow-up. I apologize. Kevin's packing for his flight here. That's probably part of what's going on. That's not an excuse. It's just a reminder. When that happens, go ahead and ping me personally on Skype, or even in the Tech Foundation room. We're all family here. If you've got a support ticket, drop it to me personally or in there. We're gonna, I'll follow up on that, make sure that it just hasn't fallen through cracks. All right, you guys, I'm going to upload this webinar to the week 5 webinar area, and it will be titled July 10th. So you can re-watch this if you wish. And you're all doing really great. And let's see, let's talk about next week. The next week we're going to be covering, is it 6, Matt?
That's week 6. I was going to bring it up on the screen so everyone can see it.
Yeah, just let's talk about where we're going so you know where we're going with all this. Set up your one feed network. This is one of my favorite. Is this module 6? Yeah, it's week 6, right?
Yes.
It's kind of my favorite. Matt has gone to great lengths to attempt to diagram out the madness in our minds on how one feed works, and we've actually reduced it to some pretty simple steps. It was pretty exciting to watch people who maybe struggled with the one feed automation system for years to pretty much understand how to do it and have their head wrapped around it. So that's where we're going. That's exciting, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, next week we're going to start talking about the one feed, like Russ said. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're moving from our primary website, the transaction engine, across to the blog, which is our broadcast engine, and that's where the one feed kicks in, is where we actually start building and setting up the blog, so that when we start promoting, the blog pushes all the stuff upstream, and the traffic flows downstream back to us. Okay, so I think for this week I think that's about it for this week, Russ. They must get their first silo up. Mm-hmm. You can't do the one feed, guys, until you have your primary first silo up.
That's kind of why.
So can you see the building blocks?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure you guys know that in order to get your automation going, the silo's got to be there. There's got to be something to drive all that link juice to, all that domain authority and traffic. So, okay, good. We'll see you guys on the next webinar. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the inside.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, guys. If you need anything, please contact me on Skype. I'm here to help you guys. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yep. See you next week.